having like a what situation. Try again. So the goal for today will be for everybody here to create their own coping, 14-day coping calendar. And so this is kind of some examples of things that I do. So I listen to a lot of music. I try to take healthy meals. My husband is a chef in our house, so I don't cook a lot of like really involved meals, but like I'll make like an egg sandwich or like maybe a little egg omelet that you do on a sandwich. Or we have a garden right now. Garden season's ending, so that's my favorite thing to do in the summer. Is like just take stuff out of the garden and make a meal out of whatever's there. Sometimes I just saute it, sometimes I make a soup. Sometimes I just put it in the oven. This year we did really well with little eggplant we grow. So we just chop them up and throw them in the oven.
What do you do with your eggplant? I just got two the other day.
I just slice them and then just like season them and put them in the oven.
You don't put them first?
No.
Okay.
No, the skin will get soft when you bake it or you cook it. You have to take it off.
You don't put sauce on you, you don't put no make sauce in there, spaghetti sauce on you?
Not usually.
Okay.
If I put it in the soup, then I'll put like, mashed potatoes and stuff.
Yes. I'm tracking.
What do you want to say? Now, so I don't usually put like Italian seasonings like garlic powder, oregano, onion powder. I usually put like, if I put it in the oven, I'll just put olive oil. Olive oil has a really good flavor. I'll just throw a bunch of olive oil. I just started doing it recently because we have so many eggplants. That's what the garden tells me to do. It tries me to figure out what to do. So I just put a bunch of olive oil in the pan, put the eggplant on the pan, and then just sprinkle some seasoning on it, and put it in the oven and walk away. Alright, and then I'll do this often. I do a lot of walk and talk. Like today, I went for a walk and I was talking to my friend. And I'm talking about, like I'm talking to my dad. That's how I'm trying to catch up with my family. I do a lot of walking and talking. Sometimes on Saturdays, I will talk with my husband. Like, soccer is over. Sometimes we go karaoke. We do all types of stuff. I don't know. I do some stuff at home, and then I do some stuff outside of home. So it depends on the kind of person you are. Like my husband, he likes to be at home. So he mostly does stuff like he'd be in the garage, working on cars, working on whatever he's working on. He likes doing a bunch of stuff in the garage. So sometimes on Friday we might watch a movie. Saturday we clean the house. Sunday we might go for a walk or go bike riding or something like that. And then sometimes like tomorrow, I probably won't have time to work out, but I'll play with
You want some?
do some yoga in the morning. I have a rocking chair that I sit in the front of my house and sit and breathe there with the trees.
I can't believe you got time to sit.
Yeah.
You're so busy.
I know, hard business. But you still gotta make time to sit. You still gotta make time to sit. Sit and rest. And then, sometimes you gotta water the plants and water the garden. Sometimes after I go for a run or a walk on Wednesday, I'll take a bubble bath. Sometimes you can write. Anybody here have a gratitude journal? That's actually one of the things that they can really help people who have a lot of negative thoughts. It can be helpful to try to get more positive thoughts and think about what you're grateful for each day. And then sometimes on Fridays we might have game night. We might sit around the fire and have game night. And then on Saturday go to coffee with a friend or either virtual or in person. Which basically means I might talk to my phone while sitting around here and drink some coffee or something like that. I got 7 sisters, so. Sometimes I walk and talk to them, sometimes I sit and talk to them. Then I do put my laundry away while I talk to them, so. I use my headphones when I'm doing that, but. But then the last thing is, you might think about going swimming or on a Sunday or going to ride bikes. Or you might go for a walk or a hike. So these are a lot of things that I do generally on these days, but they don't necessarily have to be on these days. So I just want to tell you all to think about what you can do on a daily basis in your calendar. So when you all get done eating, that would be the task. So while you're eating, I'm also going to show you all a little bit about the work that I do. So we kind of came up last week. Oh, when you work for a university, you're not supposed to necessarily like mix all the stuff that you do. But I'm actually the president of the Black Doctors Association here at the CMA.
Like what?
Black Doctors Association. So we have a national Black Doctors Association called the NMA, the National Medical Association. So it was created because Black doctors weren't allowed to be in the AMA. So then they started their own organization. Most cities have their own, so they have like a national, regional, and then each city used to have their own, but most cities don't have them anymore. Cincinnati is actually one of the few cities that still have them. So through that and just through the work that I do in my department, I just want to share out there and bring around presentation of the one girl.
I'm not, that's not even my table, so I'm going to take it. It is a table. You selling for her? Okay.
Hello. It's like taking breaks. I'm just tired. I teach a lot about microaggressions and inclusion, which is basically like sexism, racism, all types of isms and phobias, we call it. But one of the projects I'm working on for since like 2017 is trying to increase the Black physician workforce in Cincinnati.
As far as doctors?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is the president of the Medical Association. I'm associate professor for Department of Family and Community Medicine, and I'm actually the associate director for the Medical Education Division. So this is the work that I've done here. So when I came in, I was the registry. It was like me and maybe 2 other Black people in the registry. So I was part of we started an anti-racism task force. So we started doing a bunch of different things.
That's the task force?
Now this is the residents. These are the residents.
I was about to say, wow, you recruited on.
Yeah, we did. We recruited. These are our doctors.
Oh, wow, good job.
These are our doctors, yeah. So what we did was we tried to figure out like how to recruit more Black doctors in Cincinnati. And the biggest thing about it is if you want more Black doctors to be in Cincinnati, you have to train them here. That's why I'm here. Because I trained here, my husband trained here, and we can stay here, you know. And honestly, it was kind of interesting, because I know I was talking a lot about Columbus last week. I wanted to move back to Columbus, but my husband, he came here from medical school, and he was recruited here. And, he was recruited by all the Black doctors here, and he made it an important thing that they wanted to increase the diversity here. And so my husband said, if we can go back to Columbus, but it's not the same. He was just like, Columbus, they can attract anybody, but it's hard to attract people here in Cincinnati. And we will have more impact if we stayed here and try to do something about that versus going back to Columbus where, they don't need as much work. They do still need a lot of work, but not in the same way. It's a lot easier to go to Columbus than it is to here. So in 2017, we started this anti-racism task force. We started doing different things. We basically started working on our racism, like I was saying. We started working on our racism within our department, trying to figure out how we could work on it and recruit more Black doctors here. So we started doing something called diversity energy days, which is what they do in the medical school. And so we got all of the residents really involved. So Dr. Smith, actually, she was one of the first ones. She's actually working in my office with me now. So we got a lot of the residents involved with it, and a lot of the faculty as much as we could get involved with it. And just trying to make other, people let people know that we value it and it's important to us, and that we wanted to increase the diversity in Cincinnati. So the other big thing is you gotta try to recruit people from Cincinnati. So she's from St. Louis, but she's not from that far, so she's gonna stay. She's from Detroit, but she's not from that far, so she's gonna stay. Charlotte, she's from Cincinnati. Alyssa from Cincinnati. Quincy, he moved to Atlanta. Amika, she's from Cincinnati. I'm trying to think who else. So I'll bring any of them and then come back and say, but that's the biggest thing, out of all of these black faculty who've been here, and then Dr. Rosado, she's our first actual Latinx faculty that we just hired. At least half of them are going to stay. But the biggest thing for me was just like being able to have an opportunity in residency to have your residency be diverse. Because when I was in residency, it was not diverse. Like if I showed y'all a picture of my residency, it did not look like this. Not at all, some of the,
They went in a different medical field, right?
no, they're all family doctors.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, this is our residency. So we're at Christ Hospital. Our residency is based at Christ Hospital. So they all trained, they're all in training or are finished training at Christ Hospital. So this is the grand rounds I gave the NSC department to try to help them with their racism. And just talking about like life expectancy by neighborhoods. That's what I was talking about. Like it depends on the environment you're in. We know the life expectancy by neighborhoods is that's a thing, but we haven't really done a lot to change the neighborhoods. Other than try to push all the black people out of them and try to make it whiter. Like that's not the solution, So.
You got it here. That's on the black doctor.
I know Dr. Crawford, the black man.
Both of them.
I do know, that's Dr. Jones, I think, Albert Jones.
I'm the next same name. Both of them
Really?
same name.
I know Dr. Crawford because he started the one here. It's from Columbus, and they started a chapter here. So they're doing that. We do a lot of pipeline work in the medical school too. Trying to get more. I'm actually on the admissions committee. I'm not supposed to tell people that, but I'm on the admissions committee. I'm on the admissions committee for UC, and so I fight all the time to get black people into medical school. The issue is with the Supreme Court ruling, we're not allowed to see if they're black or not. And there's no race reported anymore. So that makes it harder, but so I just fight for everybody. I always have fought for underdogs. I feel like underdog doctors take better care of people because they are more like, I'm from the hood, so I work in the hood, so I know all the things, So I always try to, advocate for people who are from different neighborhoods to be doctors. So we do a lot of work in the medical school too. But this was the work that we did starting the anti-racism task force. So we did a bunch of lectures, a bunch of different committees, trying to even integrate in the Walnut Hills community. And they have gardens, they have worked under COVID. They have different like town halls that people would ask questions about the vaccine, trials and that sort of thing. So we've been working on a lot of this stuff for this vaccine. So basically after Trump got elected, we started working a lot on our racism and because, of course, that was a big thing back then. But it's been going pretty well. So this is some of the work that I do. I teach about we have different workshops to try to different we do like cases where we teach that when we talk about like things that happen and then kind of like troubleshoot like how would you handle that differently. So this is some of the people who we're trying to like brainstorm and trying to figure out different ways to strategize. So this was when we first did one. I think this was our first diversity interview day. So basically, the point of it is to try to bring a bunch of diverse applicants together. And is it what?
They did.
No, these are all family doctors who are applicants. So this is Dr. Richards, our program director, who started all this. That's me, who's right here. And this is my husband, actually, Dr. Pullen. He's family medicine psychiatry. So she actually is an OBG resident. She's applying for both. And I got a list of people who actually came to our program. So this is a pilot, I'm actually the vice president of Doctors Foundation, and so Doctors Foundation helped us in help funding, a program to support something called the Minority Health Staff Association. So every year we have organizations, and we invite, everybody to come and meet each other, invite from all the different residencies. And then we also do a thank you recruitment where we invite all the residencies, all the applicants who are interested in coming to UC for a residency. They have a dinner where they can meet each other and they can meet faculty and current residents. So this is one day, we go to family doctors at this particular event. We have to. And this was one of our recent intern classes. They're all 30 years now. So that was just good. But yeah, so this is something that a lot of people are working on. This is the people in our department who started it. So I don't know if anybody knows Dr. Austin. Dr. Austin is retired. Mark Tobias, who's in our department ever. She works for the healthcare collaborative. Dr. Bernheisel, Dr. Stata, Dr. Lewis, Dr. Rich, Dr. Bronski. We kind of were the ones who were doing most of the work. And then we would give husband to come along from time to time. He would be helpful sometimes. And then this is Dr. Lisa Johnson. She's actually at Children's. She's adolescent help. But she was the director. These two were the deans of the diversity and prior deans of diversity. Trying to help us with a lot of guidance. So basically what we do is like consult with people. Like if we want to increase diversity, like what kind of things do we do? So we did a lot of that stuff and it's worked really well. So
Is there a place that when you're looking for, like I'm looking for another, doctor, is there a place you can go? Cause I wanna call my insurance company and say, where can I find a black doctor?
me and the Cincinnati Academy of Medicine, actually, people call them all the time and ask for recommendations. So people ask on Facebook, but yeah, the Cincinnati Academy of Medicine is somebody you can call. But they've asked me stuff like, do you know black podiatrists? And I'm like, I don't know if you have a black podiatrist in Cincinnati. I know we have Dr. Dixon who's putting ankle specialist. Yeah, that was really a lot. This was one of our first like inpatient teams when we were working on this. Dr. Bernard, she actually stayed here, so she's in she works for Christ now. And Dr. Minkle, so all of them, everybody pretty much stayed except for Dr. Douglas. He went and did sports medicine. I don't remember where he was living. So sometimes they go to fellowships. So he's from Ohio. He might come back.
You know, she can also, if whatever possibility you want to have the medical services provided, you can go on their website.
And they have pictures.
Most of them have pictures of the doctor.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, that's why I stayed behind to ask Dr. Shomo last week, because even on my insurance now, you used to could add and put, specifications. No, they took that option off too.
Already.
What insurance you have, different insurance.
Oh.
This not all insurance, because I can go on there and request, if I find a doctor, someone recommended a doctor, this is like my thyroid doctor, somebody
Yeah.
recommended me to him years ago, and I've been going to him ever since.
Yeah, well, this is new under Blue Cross Blue Shield. I tried to, and I've been looking for, a while. I just couldn't,
What are you looking for? What kind of doctor?
I was primary care because I was changing from another one. But I just went and asked her because I just got tired of it. Because I
Yeah,
couldn't find
that's the
it.
thing. People generally just ask people.
Yeah.
But I know that Mercy, so that's the thing, a lot of people are recruiting, a lot of people are, like, a lot of health systems are trying to recruit as much as they can, like Mercy is, Triangle is. You see, we try to do as much as we can, but we just don't have as much money as everybody else. You have to find a kind of person that's willing to, because what you lose in the money side, you get in the lifestyle side, you get 4 weeks of vacation, you get, 2 weeks of conference time, like I usually go to Haiti every year, so you can have a week to go to Haiti. So it's kind of like you get more flexibility. So you have to find the kind of person that's like, I would rather have more flexibility than money. You know, it takes a special person for that.
But I just met a black eye doctor. She's at Target in Oakland. Did anybody let everybody know? Target in Oakland, okay?
A lot of times what you can do is you can specify male or female, but you can't necessarily specify person of color. It's not going
It
by
used
exact
to.
one. But what you do is you get 5 names and you just Google them, and
Yeah,
by
that's
risk of
what I was
deduction, you end
doing.
up running into their Facebook page or their IG page.
That's what I was
In
doing.
bigger cities like in Houston, they have a Facebook group, and it's like doctors of color. And so there's different people that refer people to, they'll say, I have a doctor over here, and the doctors a lot of times don't even know that they're in there.
Yeah.
So to be proactive, you can always start something like that, and you could all join it. But what I do is just Google.
I do too, I was doing that, that's how I was doing. I was having to guess, that's what took me so
Well,
long.
and the problem is you don't have
I
the
shouldn't have to do
segmentation
that.
either. So there's actually a list too,
I know.
the Black Voice of Cincinnati got a list.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's not, it hasn't been updated in a while, because it still says.
I
updated
started
location,
there,
not-
but see, those, you guys are full
Right,
too.
exactly, so,
You're all full, you
yeah.
can't help it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, we got more in the pipeline. So a lot of them have graduated, like Dr. Rogers just graduated, Shallow Lawrence about to graduate, so it's coming. It's gonna be a lot more. We're working on it. So that's what, last week we were talking about all types of depressing stuff, so I was like, well, let's talk about what we need. The hope, the future, the children are our future. All right, so let me go back and just say real quick what we're about to do. So, the task right now, everybody's gonna work on creating a coping calendar. So the question asks, how many times a week are you supposed to do, or how often are you supposed to work on your coping? And the answer is every day. You try to figure out something every day that can help you just kind of reclaim yourself, rebalance yourself. Because I didn't even put it here in the food medication. I didn't want to go into this before. So it's just all types of stuff that you can find. Because there's gonna be times when you're like not in the mood for certain things, like you might have a routine and you're like, I don't feel like doing that. So what else can I try? So I want everybody to try to work on that. And then we'll share out. You all have pens, you have your calendars.
Do you have any additional things out?
I do, yeah. Anybody need a pen?
Over here. You need a piece of paper?
No, I use it. Yeah. We did use it, but I didn't, use it for the people who were after that. I'm sorry.
I know, so you wanna go now?
Yes,
Yeah.
You got you got that, Felicia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
No, I was just showing like a old presentation. I was telling you.
Oh, okay. I don't want to waste.
I keep leaving.
You need a pen?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
So how y'all doing? I'm Bernicia. I'm representing SELAC, Serve Older Adults for Changing Times. We do have a program currently going on, the 5 Wishes program, which is Wheels. Determine who your healthcare agent is, AKA your power of attorney. It's all medical, so it's discussing your medical stay while you're in the hospital, and then when you transition, what does that look like? So this book here, if you wanted to take a minute to look over it, you could. I'll go around with it, just in case any of you have a few questions you want me to answer. I do offer this full class on the 24th at the Avenue Business Center. So, and the reason why we do this program is because one, my grandmother passed and she didn't have a lot of things in place. And then during COVID, folks were dying and unexpectedly, and nobody had a will. Nobody even thought of having a conversation or didn't even know how to start the conversation about wills and everything in order. So I just want to go through this real quick with you. And again, if you want the class, you can take this class on the 24th. I just wanted to pop in to at least give you some literature to take class. The class, I'll give a calendar too, from 5 to 6:30. It's from 5 to 6:30. So that first wish just goes over you determining who your healthcare agent, AKA power of attorney, is. They say don't put your spouse because it's too much emotional connection and the emotions kind of hinder the decision-making process. But again, it's important to at least have somebody. The 24th from 5 to 6:30. So I did this on that calendar in front of you. You can find the information there.
Here, you can have mine. Anybody else need a calendar?
So the first wish, again, you determining who you want your healthcare agent to be. It could be whoever you want it to be. Mine is my sister because of her size. You know, she's like 6'2". So I know if something goes down, you're gonna have to go see my sister, and a lot of people don't want to see her. So that's who my healthcare agent is. So again, we're gonna run through it real quickly. We're not gonna spend too much time just going through every page because it is a long workshop and it's a lot of information to take in. Wish 2. This is talking about the type of medical treatment you want. So if you wanted a do not resuscitate or something like that, you cannot specify that in this book. You actually have to have a do not resuscitate form on file with your doctor. You can attach that to this, but for no reason could you just say, I want a DNR and then that's it. No, it does not work like that. So that's what the second wish is discussing. And then also if you needed a blood transfusion, you were on a ventilator, you needed surgery, anything like that. These 2 pages, pages 6 and 7, those are what they are implying. If you had someone like your power of attorney, do you want them to have that say-so over your type of treatment? Do you want them to be able to say, hey, my mom can have surgery, I give you permission to do whatever you need to do, whatever. So it talks about when you're close to death, when you're in a coma, it gives you examples if you have brain damage, so on and so forth. And you just, it's simple as yes or no and check it. If it's something that you want your healthcare agent to have the right to advocate for you for, you leave it blank. But if you don't want your healthcare agent to advocate for you on that specific situation, you will cross it out and then always put your initials. Fraud is real in life and in death. So it's good anytime you cross out or any marks you make on a legal document, you put your initial. Wish 3, so that's page 8 and 9. How comfortable you want to be. And again, wills are really for your family. It's for you to start appointing people. A lot of times, nurses and, what are they, PCAs? Is that the word? They're not going to give you all of that extra care. So, it's examples in here like wish 3. It says, I want my lips and mouth kept moist and to stop dryness. We know they're not going to come in and give you Carmex and all of that stuff, but you start appointing your family. Start giving folks roles. My role with my grandma was to lotion her feet and to braid her hair. Nobody wanted that job, but I had that job. She was a diabetic. She had a lot of callus. She had a lot of buildup. She had to keep her feet moist. If you were diabetic, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You get that tightness feeling, that little dryness. So those are the things that I had to do for her. So you just start appointing people for your care, especially while you're in a hospital. A lot of times people don't do visits, family don't come by, or family just don't show up because they don't know what to do. So when you have things in place, it makes it easy for them, especially when you become at a point where you're impaired. You want the family to know how you want to be treated. What do you want? What do you want your care to look like?
And I mean, the biggest thing about it is that, you know, the way we are now, my family's in the South, and people used to die at home all the time, and it was part of life. But now, because a lot of people are in hospitals, it's become very uncomfortable for people, and they don't really know what to do. And they can be in a lot of denial.
Yeah.
So if you can be honest with your family and say, hey, I'm gonna die someday, we're all gonna die someday. This is what I want. It can help kind of take away that shock from them too, because it's a lot of grieving that happens, you know, even before people die.
So that's why they say it's important to know who your power of attorney is or healthcare agent. I'll just use the terminology that's in the book because it is a lot of emotion involved, and you'll be surprised. You may think you made the right choice and they're the most strongest person, but when you're in that state, it's like they can't get over it. Like they can't snap out of their emotions. Is just too involved. They can't make the proper decisions.
And that's why I always tell people to make sure they choose wisely.
Yes.
Because I've seen a lot of older adults kind of be held hostage by the family,
Yes.
and we can't let them go.
Yes.
I literally have a patient who tells me, like, I want to die, and her daughter won't let her die.
Yeah.
And she dies, she stops breathing on a regular basis and has to
Yes.
go to the hospital. And she would rather just not go to the hospital. Her daughter just keeps taking her back to the hospital.
Yeah. And my grandfather was that way. My family felt like they should do everything in their power to keep him alive, but he got put on a ventilator. So when they did let him come to after that 48 hours, he was like, let me die. I do not want this for myself. I'm 86 years old. Let me die. I'm not suffering. I'm not doing any of this. You know, if this is what they're saying, then, oh, so be it. Prepare yourself. He even paid for his funeral before he even got to that point. It wasn't no insurance or anything like that. He paid for his plot. He paid for the funeral. He did his obituary, and any monies he had left, he split it up before he died. I wish everybody could do that. I mean, down to the color he wanted. We know what he
We
wanted.
all can do that. That's why.
You can do that. You have the opportunity to do that.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm always involved.
And then that would eliminate a lot of family fights and family drama.
It's still gonna be that.
It's still gonna be that.
It'll be less.
But you know, it's like, well, Dad wanted to be in this color. Well, he wanted to put this on, or then it's an argument. Then you can't come to the service. Then it's just too much. So to keep the confusion down, put some stuff in place for your family. Yes, wheels is for your family. Death at a funeral, they all in there tripping. Like, Daddy has secrets and all types of stuff. Put stuff on paper to keep the confusion down.
I'd like to interject. I used to work in patient relations at this hospital, and a lot of times people don't understand legally who can come in
Yes.
to visit a patient. You might live with this man for 40 years, but
Yeah.
if you're not legally his wife, or you haven't specified, I've seen people get into a huge argument. The girlfriend had to leave, the legal wife said, you got to
I'm
go.
uploading
Yes.
videos right now because my storage
That is real.
is full.
I had a case like that.
So when it's done
Where
deleting,
my seniors, they
when
were
I
living
get done
together
deleting stuff, I'll
for
be able to
15,
record.
20 years.
I just want to do the two. I want to do a
But
couple
then
of
he
them.
left his wife, and then
Okay.
something, the insurance stopped being paid.
Yeah.
So he had cancer, so he couldn't get any insurance anymore.
Oh.
It was over. They couldn't do anything for him. She had let the policy lapse or whatever she had did. And then he ended up dying a few months later, and then the girlfriend was not allowed to be at the funeral. She couldn't go view the body. She couldn't go back into his apartment to get his things where some of her things were. And it was just a mess, and it was like, God, I wish he would have had something in place at least for her, because that's crazy how you could have that type of companion, but legally he's not your companion, and then you don't have that opportunity to put anything on paper as simple as just making her a power of attorney, and then things like that happen. And she is still in a funk about it, and that was about 4 years ago. And I asked her from time to time, like, how do you feel? Because I know that has to be hard, going from your person you see every day, do everything with, to now he's gone, and you can't even go to the hospital to see him. That has to be hard. Also, wish for, while we're talking about the hospital, my wish for how I want people to treat me. This for while you are in the hospital, if you know you have a long stay, you want your family to bring pictures and all that, let them know that. If I ever had a stay like that, I want to see my kids on a daily. You better send me a picture, you better run a tablet, you better do a video, I don't care what you need to do. I want to stay connected, and you let folks know that. A lot of seniors, or a lot of people, period, once they are in that hospital, they are isolated, folks are coming, they forget what the city look like, they forget what people look like. So if you want to stay connected and stay updated, you let them know that, because again, folks are used to things going a certain way. So when you transition or you're in that hospital, they don't know what to do. Some people don't like hospitals at all. It gives them anxiety, so they don't come at all. And if you know you have one of those people, you let them know, hey, it's okay. You don't have to come in here, but I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Also, down to calling a name. Very important. I took care of a lady, didn't know. I'm thinking a respectable thing to do is call her by her last name. No. Every day I left, she cried, and I didn't know that until a couple months. And her daughter said, well, Mom's crying because she don't like you calling her last name. I'm like, well, it's not in the treatment plan. How was I supposed to know? And she's like, well, it reminds her of Dad and give her bad memories and makes her upset. She wants you to call her by her, just her name. How am I going to know that?
Right.
So let folks know. I want folks to just call me V. Don't call me by my last name. Don't call me my first name. I don't want you coming in there telling me I'm about to die. You like, well, Miss Finch, you know, no, V, we got the last back. This is what's going on. Give it to me real cut and dry. And you can have that in place. Let folks know what you want. Especially if you know you are one of those where you are getting ready to transition. Let everybody know by having things in place. Wish fire. So again, it does all of the talking for you. If you want your healthcare agent to advocate for you on one of these topics or all the topics, you leave them blank. If you don't, you cross it out. Put your initial. Always remember to put your initial. Wish fire. This is my favorite part. A lot of people don't know why, but this is the funeral planning piece. Planning funerals, you will bring out the ugly in folks. During it, after you dead it in the ground or burnt up, however it go, it wheels are for your family. Let's just say that. So again, let your family know what you want. Let them know how you want to be remembered. If you want something simple, the 2-minute remarks will be my funeral. Let's throw that out there. I don't want a long funeral. I want my family and friends to come up and pay their respects how they want to pay their respects. I don't want a long funeral, 5 songs. But along with them having dialogue. Not with you got to read silently for 2 minutes. You got 4 people coming up to sing. Then you got the eulogy that's got another 25, 30 minutes. No, give that time to my family. We're only in here for 2 hours. Give them that time. That's what I want. So my family is going to know that down to the colors, the singer, how long my funeral will be. Don't slide over my casket. Look, keep going. I don't want you messing up my hair. I don't want you messing up my makeup. I don't want you doing any of that if I'm in the casket. Look at me. Keep it pushing. But you can say that. You can let folks know that. So again, that's something to think about. 3 minutes.
Okay.
Give my family 3 minutes.
Don't tell us you said you already got 2 more minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this because we're wrapping this up. So that's what this page is discussing. Also, the type of care you want your family to get after you depart. I want my kids to get therapy. There's a section for that. And then so on and so forth. Just read through it. Take a minute, read through it again. If you want to take the full workshop, you can on the 24th. And then after that, that is it. The wheel is simple. It does all of the talking for you. Granted, you can add additional information, but if you don't and you just want to roll with how it is, just based off the little modifications you make, you can. You sign it. Always put the whatever is on your ID is what you put in this top section. Address included. And then you need 2 witnesses, and then of course you get it notarized. Once they get notarized, it's a legal document. And then you always keep the original. You can make copies, give it to your family, give it to whomever. But make sure you specify who you gave it to, because again, fraud is a thing. And then that's it. Once you complete it, you fill out this card, you cut this card out, put this card wherever your ID is. When a lot of times when things happen to you, the first thing people check is your wallet or your purse, and they look for your ID, they'll find this as well. Okay? And then it's that simple.
All right.
It's that simple.
Thank you.
Okay? Love y'all. Thank y'all. Then Dr. Shomo, we can take that.
Yeah, we can have it, yeah. Yeah, we're not throwing that extra to somebody needs another one.
Okay.
All right, y'all ready? Okay. So we just got a lot of housekeeping stuff. Look at your calendars, we got a raffle we need to do. We need to tell everybody to do the survey. Your post test. All right, work on your calendars and I'll come around and give you the paper scan and work on your post test. Do we need a review of all the answers?
No.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
I tried to give them the way. I tried to give them the way. I asked questions about these.
Did I need to do that?
You want to scan it?
Yes, you want the copy or the grant? Oh, the
You got to cut it short. Where you go to take it?
Yep.
I thought it was back there.
So which one?
Okay, you got paper?
The post survey. I don't know if you did that for pre-survey. When we first came in. Yep. It's a post survey. It's the same survey we did when we first came in.
Okay, we need to do it again.
Yeah, you gotta do a, say you learned something. That's what I'm saying, right?
Oh, okay.
Just agree. Let me see if she updated the. Here you go.
Put it in.
That's me right out.
Monday to Thursday.
You want to do your paper or?
I do.
Yeah, because I want to make sure she.
I like it better. I like that you answer these questions again, because it gives us, make us think.
Yeah, so that's all. You can ask any questions you have. Okay, come on. think that you get one if you came for three sessions. Three more, did you come for three? Erin isn't here today, she was sick, so I don't want to get in trouble.
Tell us your rate, but don't give us a number to put in. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. Huh? You do the paper for everyone. Okay, here. Here. Calvin, down back.
I'm actually going to my own raffle too, so two chances.
Okay, that one.
Thank you, Doc.
Everybody done with the survey? Second half of the time, I gotta start. So everybody gets a book, so everybody's a winner. Yay!
Oh, wow. Oh, everybody's awesome.
Oh,
That's why I'm gonna do it. I like this book. The book is the prize.
That's
We didn't know that.
Alright, I'm gonna wrap this up real quick for y'all. And I'll sign the book and do these raffles. Woo! So, thank you all for being a part of this course. I hope you all learned some coping skills. Hope it was helpful. So the biggest thing is after you leave this course today, I hope that you all hopefully keep in contact with each other. The health captain's always doing different events. They have the walking groups and they're starting the nutrition, trainer sessions as well. So please attend more events. Please stay in touch with each other. So giving everybody a copy of my book. So the book would be a really helpful way. It has examples of much different coping skills you could try if you never really thought about them. So I will point that out to you all with the chapter, what page that is in a second. So it would be helpful to go in here, read that. Because there's times like, your life just gets real crazy, right? So there's some years are worse than others, and, you might need to try something different. So trying to stay inspired. So this is my Instagram. I changed the handle. But I have Instagram, I have a TikTok, I have my podcast, which I do more on my podcast than I do anything. So on my book, it'll have all the information on the website, which is where my podcast is. And the biggest thing is just trying to stay inspired. That's the biggest thing about right now. Talking about my husband, he is real fired up with all of the war stuff, with all Israel and Palestine going a little crazy right now. So just trying to figure out how to stay inspired even when the world seems like it's kind of in shambles. And then the last thing is just trying to just give yourself space for grace. So one of the things we talked about when we talk about the love method is we're human. You don't have to necessarily pretend to put on a mask be by yourself if you can do that. Yeah, exactly. And then the last thing is, you know, sometimes when you are feeling down, you might work on some, or you have to do things. You might work with some affirmations, or just trying to figure out, just like different like models you can tell yourself if you are feeling like everything is really hard. So people generally try to find, like one of my colleagues, she's always said live in the dream. I'm like, how you doing? She said, live in the dream. You know? So sometimes people have these little mantras they tell themselves to try to kind of push through. And then the biggest thing is just trying to find, you know, who will support you. Having those connections and really having a tribe is really important. And the biggest thing about it, you got to find the right tribe. Because not everybody knows how to listen. Not everybody knows how not to make everything about themselves. Not everybody knows how to give good advice. So definitely, if you find yourself, you know, in a space where you are like, I don't know, what do people talk about? Let's try to find new spaces. That's one of the big things that actually helped me stay here in Cincinnati was I joined Black Girls Run. That was when I was ready to leave and go back to Columbus because I didn't know anybody here. I'm not from here. And like I said, people here are not the most friendly people. so I joined Black Girls Run, and that really is what helped kind of, you know, get me involved in the community and learn more different places, like, you know, like different places we run. So that was really helpful for that. And it's, you know, try to find people who are like-minded. So I was interested in running, so I want to find some people who also are interested in running. So you just try to find different spaces. And then, of course, you know, there's always therapists, health coaches, support groups. They can be helpful if you don't have anybody or you don't really know where to start. That's the last slide. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Can I say one thing? I did miss the first class, but I did get the last three. I just want to say you're very inspiring. I look forward to it coming. And it's helped me through my, and you know, first of all, you want to own your own business and dominated by.
Yeah, I see I was seeing the levels of,
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Darren. No, I can relate. I mean, you know, being, like I said, it's not a lot of black women musicians here, and there's not any of my family or anything like that, so it is really hard. You feel very lonely when you're like, kind of outside by yourself. So for me, it was important to find spaces where even though people were different from me, we still find a lot of common ground. You know?
Well, my clients bring me that kind of, because they're so diverse.
Right.
So every day is something different. But just being a lady barber
Right.
is something in itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
It's an adventure.
yeah, yes it is.
Well, I'm glad you came.
Yeah.
Well, I just was saying, when I first got here, I was just very impressed because as a mental health therapist, but like I'm a licensed social worker, when you say your trauma, specialization includes that. I've never heard, that's my job to be certified, you know, in that area. But that touched me so much because I've never heard a doctor. Because if we put that together, like, you're powerful.
Right.
And so I just thank you, because that just changed me just hearing that. And it gives me hope, you know, because I'm like, your mind, it regulates everything. So I don't know how we can separate that, you know, but
And that's
thank you.
honestly, no problem, thank you for saying that. That's honestly what motivated me to write the book and to make the course, is because I went to a conference once, and you know, I was learning more about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, why isn't this like shouted from the rooftops everywhere? Like, you know, so one of the things that I focus through advocacy, so I showed you about some of the work that I've done. And it's actually got to a point where I don't need to do a lot of that work anymore, because I have a bunch of mentees who are doing that work now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, trying to get a different space of just trying to get the message out that we really need to work on our healing in our communities and just change America. It's not just our communities. It's like everybody, there's too many guns, it's too much of everything, you know?
Right.
Too much drugs, So,
This is what our young people need in the community.
right.
And, we're the second black female doctor that I know of, and I've worked with Dr. Kelly, the VA for years. I don't know if she's retired yet, but the way she loves the veterans, the way she took care of the veterans, and she worked in employee health part-time, and took care of the employees. She was just an awesome doctor. Internal medicine, she was.
But like, how would you know if somebody has that certification? Because even if I was thinking about it, they don't get to list, you don't, that would be so powerful.
It's kind of like right now, it's a very, I'll tell you that most family doctors, you can just ask the doctor. So most family doctors and most pediatricians is part of our training. Yeah, it's part of the way we're trained now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily that I was certified, it was just like my whole residency for 3 years, every day. People would ask me stuff like, you know, you're like, oh, like even now I work with the medical students, and they were saying that, you know, you basically, what we do a lot in family medicine is just, what we're challenged with, the reason why I came here, our residency has a 30-year history of social justice and global health work. So when I came to residency, they were doing work in Haiti, not Haiti, in Honduras, and now they go to Guatemala, and they do the same thing in Cincinnati. So like, I worked at Crossroads and I was in residency. I worked at health department for 6 years, and the residents used to come work with me. So we're exposed to all of that, like different types of practices, because I work in Forest Park too, so. Yeah, 2 different practices, and they just would drill in you, like, pretty much every day. Well, what's going on with this person's life? You know what I mean? Who is this person? How has that affected their health? And not just seeing a person as, like, numbers. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is their A1C, this is their blood pressure. But who is this person? And what do they have going on at home? So it's not necessarily like a certification, it's just like being taught by people who it was important
Okay.
to.
And you know what, when I think about it, it was just like a little turnaround with that though, because like when Robin Williams committed, like when these celebrities started kind of like
Right.
killing themselves, now, like I remember my physical doctor finally asked, like, they asked mental health kind of questions like, how are you doing? Do you feel sad? Thank you for asking. No, I don't, but I was like, thank you.
Right.
Because there's somebody here that's very sick in their body, but it was because they were sad.
Exactly.
And they didn't even get to ask that question.
It's something that starts in medical school training now, too.
Okay.
So we were exposed to it in medical school, and then when I found out about this residency and the work that they did, so now it just depends on where you train. But most of the doctors here in Cincinnati know a lot about it because this is actually one of the oldest family medicine residencies in the country.
Oh, wow.
And department. So that's why I even live here, because I was thinking about going back to Columbus, but Columbus family medicine is not like it is here in Cincinnati. We have a very special group of doctors here in Cincinnati. So we, like I said, from day one, you know, they try to teach you about the social determinants of health and how different aspects of people's lives affect, you know, their health, and just trying to go beyond. And honestly, it's kind of interesting because the medical students, I'm like, literally, they have so many service projects, and I told the medical students, she was like, oh, I'm going to be feeling after internal medicine doctor. Which internal medicine is fine, but the thing about internal medicine doctors, they spend a lot of time in the hospital addressing illness. But as family doctors, we spend a lot of time in the community trying to prevent illness, you know? So that's why I came here. Like, they're working in gardens. You know, there's not internal medicine doctors out here working in gardens, you know? So it's just a different, and it's not everywhere, but that's how a lot of family doctors are. It's really what we do. And it really comes from the top, the AFP, like, they give all these guidelines of like, everybody needs to do this, everybody needs to work on this. So it really comes, it's just the way that family medicine is. And it's generally just because we take care of everybody. So you have to understand all these different perspectives. And so if you can do that, you know, you're taking care of kids, you're taking care of women, men, taking care of older adults. So, you know, you have to understand all of that, then it will make you try to figure out, well, what is the population that I'm taking care of, what kind of things they're struggling with, and how does that affect their health? So it's like I said,
Does that apply to nurse practitioners? Because I've been giving them more of a chance because They were having, you know, it was black females that had an open caseload. And I see them as the same as a doctor.
Their training is not the same.
Oh,
So, I mean, you know, I don't know what they're gonna do in America about that situation, but if you look at the training between a nurse practitioner and a physician, usually a nurse practitioner may have like 500 hours of training, or like we have like tens of thousands of training because literally they don't do residency.
oh,
They don't do residency.
Some of them can write prescriptions.
Yeah, so they just don't have the same amount of training as us.
oh.
So, you know, they're trying to figure out the best place for them. Like, we have one nurse practitioner in our office who we only have one. So he just asks us a lot of questions. So he sees a lot of their cues. And so he gets to see kind of the same things over and over and over again. And so he asks us a lot of questions, and we kind of look over all this stuff. And he gets that training. We're basically training him like we're doing a residency. But most of them are not trained like that. Most of them are just like, they train a little bit and then they just are released. Sometimes the same thing that we do without the same kind of training.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got a question there. Isn't PCP the same as family physician? Family?
Well, that could mean a pediatrician. It's just a primary care physician, so it could be people who do primary care, pediatrics, internal medicine, family medicine.
Oh, right, so it's still family medicine, that's what I'm saying, okay.
Yeah. I know, the way the healthcare system works is just, like, even I had a medical student who's working with me right now, and he was like, I have no idea how it functions, because it's really interesting to, like, try to understand it all, even for us. All right, well, Tracy, you want to be in charge of the raffle?
Yes, ma'am.
You got something to raffle with?
Yes, I have something.
So a lot of times my primary care physician, they always try to schedule me. And I always feel because I'm not in there, but I'm trying to schedule.
I was a
I mean, the studies have shown that you shouldn't, it's not necessarily like, they have a study out of Mississippi that said that if you alternated like a primary physician and nurse practitioner, that's fine. But if you're only being seen by a nurse practitioner, that is not okay. Because like even right now, I have patients who go to endocrine AEC and they only see a nurse practitioner, which is not how it's supposed to be done. But all of that, but the thing is, it's fairly new, so all of the data is coming out like now. So that's what's kind of weird about it. So they need to do better. But that's what we do in our office. Our nurse practitioner, we alternate visits. Like they will see the nurse practitioner say once and then the next day. Not over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I have learned a lot. Sometimes it seems like nurses, but that's who's in the hospital, not the practice.
Yeah, that's the thing. So everybody has their different skill sets. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a picture of you.
Okay. She got it. Yeah, I already have it all.
Okay, I'm thinking, so that's what y'all keep, okay. And then everyone filled out a raffle?
I'm already looking.
Am I now done? Okay, I'm closing my eyes. Okay.
I'll read it.
Okay, 5024149.
That's me.
That's you.
Can somebody tell, because I'm just doing vision? Because I don't have my other bifocals on.
That's it. You know everything. You can holler, hey. You want to come out in your picture again? Because he want to take a picture of you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you want a Kroger card or do you want a game basket?
oh, that's tough. Oh, dang, I'm such a...
My mind says Kroger card. but
My mind says Kroger card too.
Mine says game basket.
I got all that.
Are you good? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Let me get a picture of you on this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I gotta give you this.
Okay.
looks so much better. Okay. Yeah, this looks way better. Yeah, thank you.
I did like that plastic bag.
Another game basket.
All right. Have a game night. Okay, so 5024148.
That's it.
I promise I'll mix them up, y'all.
Right, okay.
Oh, we gotta take pictures too?
You got exactly what you
So, the last company thing, I'm gonna sign books for everybody, so everybody come and I'll write your name. And if anybody wants to give any confessionals to Brian, he's gonna be doing that back there.
Yes.
I say confessional.
That's your thing, your son.
I can't remember what the
You
word
tell us about
This is gonna be like how you feel about the event, the course and everything. Just give a testimony.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna get set up in here real quick. And
Okay, just take your time.
I feel really proud of him. Since I'm in the medical baby, I'm very proud. You know, they